All right, now we are going to work on the homework or the practice problems for week 31. So we're going to start in quadrant 1. We have 4 values that we need to put in order, greatest to least. Biggest value is going to be first. That's the opposite of what you see a lot of the time. So what I would recommend, because all of your values need to be in the same form, either decimals, all fractions, or all percents. I believe it's going to be the easiest to compare decimals. So I'm going to change these percents and fractions to decimals so that we can compare them. The percents are easy to change. All you have to do when you have a percent is move the decimal 2 places to the left. So our decimal for our 8% is 0.08. Now, our second problem is 1 over 12. I'd like to see if I can set up 1 over 12 to equal 100, because I know that if I have 100 as my denominator, I can make my decimal really easy. But unfortunately, 12 is not a factor, so there's no relationship. I'm going to end up just dividing 1 by 12. 12 will not go into 1, so I'm going to put a 0. 12 will not go into 10 either. 12 will go into 100 8 times. 8 times 12 is 96. So I'm going to subtract, then add a 0. I need to keep dividing. 12 into 40 is 3. 3 times 12 is 36. Subtract, get a 0. 12 into 40, looks like I'm going to have a repeating decimal. So my decimal for 1 over 12 is 0.08, and then the 3 is going to repeat. 0.08, 3, and the 3 repeats. So I have 0.08 and I have 0.083 repeating. Next, I'm going to look at 16%. Easy to change. 0.16. The last one is 1 over 20. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with 1 over 12. I'm going to look and see if there's a relationship between 20 and 100. And, lucky for us, there is. 20 is a factor of 100. So 20 times 5 equals 100. 1 times 5 equals 5. So 5 hundredths looks like 0.05. Now I've got my 4 decimals, and I'm going to find the biggest number. So when I look for the biggest number, I'm going to be focused on the 10th place. So in every 10th place except for this one, I have 0. 0.16 means it's the biggest of the list. It's the most value. So 0.16, remember it's 16%, so I know my answer choice is going to start with 16%. So I can automatically cross off the 2 answer choices that don't start with 16%. Now all I have to do is figure out what my next value is. So I'm going to look at my hundredths place. So I have 8. Here I have 8 again. Here I have 5. 5 is less than 8, so I know it's not going to be 0.05 or 1/20. It's going to be between 0.08 and 0.083. Now I'm going to look at the next place value, thousandths place. When I don't have anything, that means it's going to be a 0. So I'm going to compare the 0 to 3. 3 is bigger. The 3 goes with the 1/12, so 1/12 is going to be my second number, which means B is going to be my answer choice. All right, second problem. In 2011, Ralph paid $12.95 for a box of cards and 44 cents each for 16 stamps. What was the total cost in dollars and cents of the box of cards and the stamps? So we need to figure out what the total amount of money that Ralph spent. So $12.95 is the cost of one of the items, so we can leave it. The other item's 44 cents per stamp, and he bought 16 stamps. So we need to multiply 44 cents times 16. 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Then I need a 0. 4 times 6 is 24. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Now I'm going to add, and I get 704. Remember that you had 2 decimal places, so my answer also needs 2 decimal places. So Ralph spent $7.04 for the stamps. Now I'm just going to add that to the cost of the box of cards. 9 plus 4 is 5. 9 plus 4 is 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 0 is 9. 7 plus 2 is 9. And then the 1. So he spent $19.99 for all of his items that he bought. All right, quadrant 3. A team of 4 players competed in a golf contest. The names and scores of the players on the team are shown in the table. The team's score is the sum of all of the scores in the table. What is the team's score? So the word sum means you're adding. So I'm going to add these 4 numbers together to get the team's score. So I'm going to go ahead and write them out. -2 plus 3 plus -4 plus -1. I'm adding all 4 numbers. So what I like to do on problems like this, I'm going to take all the negative numbers and add them together first. So I have -2, -4, -1. Now I'm going to add up all those negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have -7. Then I have my +3 that I have left over. I have -7 plus 3. Remember the rules when you're adding integers. If the signs are different, you subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. 7 minus 3 is 4. My bigger number is 7, so I'm going to keep that sign, which is negative. So my answer is H, -4. All right, quadrant 4, our last problem. A barrel contained 60 gallons of water. Water leaked out of the barrel at a rate of 5 gallons every 3 days. At this rate, how many days did it take for all 60 gallons of water to leak out of the barrel? So some key words in this problem are going to help us figure out how to solve it. Rate is the big one. Here it is again. When you have a rate, remember you have a comparison of 2 things. So the comparison in this problem is gallons being compared to days. So I'm going to write my ratio, 5 gallons every 3 days. Now, I'm given a third piece of information, 60 gallons. Since I wrote gallons on top of my rate, I'm going to write 60 gallons on top because it has to match. Now I've set up a proportion, and all I have to do is find that missing number. So I can see there's a relationship between 5 and 60. 5 times 12 is 60. So I can multiply 3 by 12 to get my answer, which is 36 days. Choice J.